What do you get when you combine a trio of championship golf courses, including one of them that's reversible, plays in both directions, and then add to the mix a 10-hole walking course that only adds to the memory-making quality of the destination? You get a very special place. It's called Forest Dunes, and today we'll introduce you to this national golf destination, so stick around.
Welcome to Michigan Golf Live Television, celebrating our 20th season of shining the spotlight on the best places to stay, play, and enjoy the greatest game on earth. Stay connected 24/7 to MGL on Facebook, Twitter, our weekly radio show, and podcasts on the all-new 4golfersnetwork.com.
Hello, friends, and welcome into a very special edition of our show. I'm Bill Hobson, and it is great to have you with us because today we have the unique privilege of introducing to you one of the most unique destinations you'll find anywhere in America. After all, it's not very easy to park your car in one place and find yourself surrounded by 3 top 50 golf courses. Now add to that mix the addition of a 10-hole short course where you can literally kick your shoes off and just have a blast playing the game, and you know we're at someplace special. Where is that place? In Roscommon, Michigan, and it's called Forest Dunes. We've got a lot of ground to cover in the moments ahead, so we're going to get right to it by heading to the original course here, created by Tom Weitzkopf. It is the Forest Dunes course. Up first, as we begin our tour of this magnificent resort. Any discussion of the beauty of Forest Dunes needs to be centered around the Forest Dunes course, the original course here, designed by Tom Weitzkopf. And here to help us with a description and a feel of this piece of the property, Chad Mavius. Since 2013, this has been home for you. How have you seen this property mature and change in those years?
When I came here first in 2013, we had just opened the hotel for the first time. So it was Clubhouse Hotel, just the main Forest Dunes course. Since then, we've had more accommodations come online. We've opened the Loop, our reversible golf course, the Bootlegger, our 10-hole par 3 course, the Bootlegger bar, and on and on and on.
The maturing process has been rapid.
Every year there's something new that comes on board for Forest Dunes.
Okay, so let's just focus on this original course here for a moment. You and I played the front 9 together. What did Tom Weitzkopf do with this piece of property?
A few things that are very unique in modern golf courses. One, you really don't see one hole from the next. So as you start off on 1, all the way to the 8th hole, you don't see another golf hole, which is pretty unique. He also challenges golfers from the tee shots, regardless of what tee you do play. It's a very challenging tee shot, and he offers risk reward throughout the golf course.
You know, I like right from the start, where on 1, you can just get the driver out, try to determine how much you want to bite off, maybe how loose you are for that round. That's kind of a gentle hole to start your round. And then it's time to start shaping some shots because Tom Weitzkopf requires you to be a little bit nimble with how you place that ball.
He does go easy off the first hole, I agree. As you come into the second hole, it's the #1 handicap hole. It's all you can eat. Early in the morning, if you haven't warmed up, you're past your first hole breakfast ball, it's all you can eat. A lot of times a bogey on the second hole is actually a good score. He mixes it up through difficult and moderate to easy holes, and then the golf course finishes with some birdie opportunities.
And in every one of the green complexes, it is really important that you check the pin sheet and pick the right quadrant, because you can hit some greens in regulation out here and still be 80 to 100 feet away.
You can, and the greens out here usually roll to anywhere from 11 to 13, depending on what time of year it is. So it's not uncommon to have some undulating putts with long distances if you're not careful of the pin positions.
So really, holes 1 through 8 kind of take you through the forest of Forest Dunes. Number 9 is that first feeling of, oh, I'm about to leave the forest as you stand on this par 3 tee.
And as we stood here earlier today, as you come through the Parkland style first 8 holes, you begin to enter the dunes area, and you're also exposed to wind. So as you can see here, we're open now. So you've come out of kind of the tunnel and protection of the trees. Now the wind is blowing. You don't necessarily feel it. We always tell our guests to look at the American flag by the clubhouse to see what directions it's blowing, so that you can make the proper adjustments to what club you're going to pick.
Well, then we make the turn and we head on to the dunes side of Forest Dunes. It's really, I think, a completely different experience.
It's so contrasting, but yet it melds so perfectly together. 10 goes out in the dunes. It's a split fairway. a dune in the middle, a dune to the right. He really, once again, gives you a choice which direction you're going to go. Depending on the pin position and the length of your second shot, you do have a choice.
All throughout this back, you have some choices to make, and if you really enjoy some time in the sand, then your choices are many. If you like to stay on the grass, you've got to be a little bit more accurate here on the back nine.
There are several holes on the back nine where driver is not the ideal play. If you look at 13, the golf hole is only 315, 320 yards. Most amateurs will hit driver regardless, probably not the right position. Even if you get it close to the green, you're left with a very difficult chip shot to a very tiered green, one of the most difficult on the golf course. So sometimes the proper strategy is to lay back and have a full shot in.
There are some moments back there where you can let it go. We've got some long par fours, a pretty good length par five, and then we get to this closing stretch of 16 through 18. I want to have you walk us through each one of those.
We kind of call, the membership here kind of calls the closing stretch 15 through 18. You really need to be at even par, under par to save your round. So the par 5, 15th is a reachable par 5, but it's Weiskopf's favorite green on the golf course. It's very subtle, somewhat hidden, very difficult to make eagle on 15, sometimes difficult to make birdie. Then you get hit in the face again with a tough par 3 and 16, and then you come out of that into a drivable par 4, and again, a reachable par 5 at the end.
Drivable with a lot of risk involved.
A lot of risk. You're surrounded by bunkers on the left side. It's well bunkered at the green area, and right is pretty much a natural dead area.
With Forest Dunes serving as kind of the flagship course here on the property. Since day one up until now, how have you seen national audiences embrace this course?
This was always kind of a hidden gem, always well ranked in the top 100. When we didn't have lodging, I think people came for day trips. Word started to spread. Once we got lodging and people could play this day in and day out, as well as with the loop, it started to get more national notoriety. And we're seeing guests travel internationally, where as before it was just throughout the state.
Well, thank you for the guided tour of Forest Dunes. We're going to see Chad again a bit later as we show you the reversible course known as the Loop, and still ahead, the Bootlegger. What's that all about? Stick around. We'll be back with more from Forest Dunes after this. Welcome back to the show and our look at a very special place, Forest Dunes in Roscommon, Michigan. Before we go any further, I want to let you all know of the options for staying here. There's this beautiful lodge just steps away from the first tee. There are cottages and villas, all of them within walking distance of the clubhouse in both Forest Dunes and the Loop. And one of the reasons for the growing interest in Forest Dunes has to do with the infusion of some new ownership led by Rich Mack. When you first set foot on this property, what caught your eye?
The remoteness. You know, I think all good destination golf resorts are very remote, and this place is surrounded by federal and state forests, and then you've got these, you know, two phenomenal regulation golf courses and a brand new short course, and just the history of Forest Dunes, how it evolved as a private club that had struggles, and Lou Thompson came in and really made some challenging decisions to evolve the place and get it on its feet. So it just had a lot of potential.
At some point, you decided, I want my name on this place, and I have visions and dreams and ideas. What's the dream?
Well, I want to carry on along with my partner Tom Sonnerberg, and we were the founders of Streamsong, and so we've got a little bit of experience in creating a hopefully what's viewed to be a special destination. And I think the big issue for us is we are the next stewards of Forest Dunes. You know, Lou took it from where it was at and brought it all the way to basically where it's at today, and I think our vision is to be stewards of what has been created here for people that love golf, for the members that are, you know, we're early supporters and champions of Forest Dunes, and take it to the next level. And so it's perhaps our attention to detail, some of our strategy, some of the things that we want to do with the asset base, obviously more golf, and really hopefully build on something that everybody in Michigan can be super proud of.
part of the remoteness of all of this means that stay and play packages are a big part of the equation. And lodging is beautiful and it's packed. That's a good thing, right?
That is a good thing.
So are you surprised by the demand here? Because it has grown exponentially from the first opening days of Forest Dunes.
It has, and so the Tom Weiskopf course had some, great reviews, best new course in America, one of the very best courses in America when it was built. But I think what really flipped the switch here was the addition of the loop. And what Tom Doak, Tom Doak is obviously one of the greatest golf course architects on the face of the earth right now.
And now he's a mad scientist with
and now
this
he's
loop.
a mad scientist. And so the loop at Forest Dunes is so unique, so creative, so interesting. It just has really expanded the interest base of people and golfers and alpha golfers that are willing to travel to Forest Dunes now. And so, I think Mike Kaiser said one course is a curiosity and two courses makes a destination. And so we have 2.5 courses. We have 3.5 courses
Right.
if you count the loop as 2 different courses.
Which you have to. They're rated differently.
They are rated differently. And what I think Tom and I are most excited about is we have the opportunity to now put our own thumbprint on Forest Dunes with the remaining property here that we believe is perhaps the best property available for golf. And we look forward to sharing that with avid golfers in the years ahead of us.
So there may be some dirt moved in the future here is what you're saying.
I sure hope so. I sure hope so. And so we're so thankful that golf right now is a very popular thing to do coming off of COVID. Forest Dunes is doing very well, and as long as we continue to earn the respect and the trust of our guests and our customers, and we give them incredibly good golf conditions, great service, good food and beverage, good lodging. I think there are good things ahead for Forest Dunes.
Well, part of the experience is the making of memories, and the addition of a 10-hole short course, great name called the Bootlegger, is one of those memory-making opportunities. Wind down your day. Maybe you're out there barefoot. It doesn't matter. You're out there casually with a couple of clubs in hand and able to just kind of wind down and soak it in with your buddies.
Exactly. Yeah. No rules apply except one, and that is just respect other people who are playing with you or on the course. And so you'll find, 8-somes, 12-somes. You'll find people, playing barefoot. You'll find fathers and sons and mothers and daughters out playing because it's very easy and fun to play and takes about an hour to play. And here you can play it as many times as you want in a day. I mean, if you want to spin around it 3-4 times, go ahead, have fun, have at it.
As we stand on the first tee of the Loop, we welcome in Lauren Strong, who is part of the PGA professional team here at the Loop. What did you first think of when somebody described to you this concept of a reversible golf course?
I thought it was a fantastic idea. I think that it's unlike any other golf course in the world. And I think that it's just special to have it located in northern Michigan, such a beautiful place to be, Forest Dunes property. And it's been a great success so far.
How many times do you think you've had to explain to guests how this whole thing works?
Every single time someone asked about the Loop golf course, we all had to explain what the concept is and how it works. And everyone seems really excited to be out here and play it because it's unlike any other golf course in the world. So.
Well, I've had the privilege of taking a few laps around the Loop in both directions, but if I were a brand new guest about to go the first time, give me the official Lauren Strong description of what this experience is.
Absolutely. So I like to explain it as link style golf course, very open concept, fairways, very complex but fair greens. And the best way I can explain it is there's 36 tee boxes, 18 greens.
And it's a little bit easier to explain the concept maybe when you're standing on one of those greens, because then you can turn around and point to tomorrow. Exactly. It's coming in from this direction because today we're playing clockwise.
Exactly. And I say, hey, number one's going to play as a par 5 today, but tomorrow it's going to play as a par 3. And it's just, it's fascinating to see people's reaction of, wow, that's so cool. I've never heard of anything before like that. So it's really neat.
Well, we've talked about its place in where golf is in our country, and I don't know of its equal. I don't know of anywhere else where you can play the same piece of property as 2 different golf courses, but both directions of the Loop are top 50 golf courses in America.
Yeah, absolutely, and rightfully so. I think the course conditions, Rob Faulkner, he does a great job as superintendent, and Kyle Frost, his assistant, and it's just really cool to see how there can be two different types of grasses on the same property. Bent grass on Forest Dunes, and then fescue kind of wall to wall here on the loop. So it's really cool.
Now, do you have, just from your own personal preference, a favorite direction of the loop?
I personally like the red routing a little bit better. It's a little bit more challenging coming in the finishing holes, but there's a lot of really cool holes that I like on the red routing that just have a different perspective from the tee box. But I think honestly, playing the black the next day is equally as fun, just to have both opportunities to play different directions.
In which direction are we playing today, red or black?
We are playing the black.
All right, so tomorrow, if you came here tomorrow and you brought your own TV crew, you'd be playing in the opposite direction, and Lauren could tell you all that in reverse, because that is the beauty of what Tom Doak did here. Tom's a mad scientist. I don't know if you're aware of that.
He is, and you know, I like a lot of his other designs, and obviously Tom Doak is a very respected architect in the country and in the world, so it's really fascinating and neat to have such a big name designer here at Forest Dunes.
You know, every time I set foot on the loop, I'm reminded of what a unique experience it is. Chad Mavius joins us again. I've learned a few things. I was reminded of a few things. The ground game is your friend on the loop.
It absolutely is your friend. We tell our guests all the time, don't be scared of the putter. 60-degree wedge that you may utilize at your home course or in traditional golf courses is not your best friend here.
Out here on an especially blustery afternoon, you also are reminded of how the wind can come into play and change the entire experience out here.
It's the old adage, swing easy when it's breezy. Try and keep the ball low. The closer you get it to the ground on a course like this, in wind conditions like this, the better off you're going to be.
So some of the mental gymnastics that you work through is, what will this hole be tomorrow? And I've finally been clued in. Everything adds up to 18. So if today I'm playing number 7, tomorrow it's
Number 11.
See how that goes? And it'll help you kind of get a feel for what the round will be like when you play it in reverse. But I've told thousands of people over the years, you cannot form an opinion of the loop until you've played it both directions. Is that fair?
That's absolutely correct. So we do have guests who play just one routing from time to time due to time constraints. You really don't get the full picture of the loop and the beauty and the architecture until you play it in both directions. You can tell guests to turn around and envision what the hole will be like tomorrow. If they can't play, there's really no way to really comprehend it unless you actually play it.
So is Tom Doak a genius or a mad scientist?
I think he's a little bit of both.
Combination.
He's a little bit, definitely genius. This is a little bit of mad scientist.
Well, to this point, we have showcased the beautiful Tom Weiskopf Forest Dunes, the original course here on this property. We've taken you in both directions on the reversible loop, the creation from Tom Doak, and yet there's still one more course to go. But before we get to the Bootlegger, I have worked up quite an appetite with all the golf we've already played, and I want to remind you that as good as the golf is here at Forest Dunes, the food might be even better. I'll let you know when we come back after this. We'll see you on the Bootlegger. Oh, that's fantastic. Welcome back to the show as we continue at Forest Dunes, and as every golfer knows, there is no shortcut to improving in this game. It has to involve practice, which is why here at Forest Dunes, the provisions they've made for you to practice are so remarkable. We've got a driving range that stretches back over to this side. We have the hilltop putting course that reaches for acres and acres. And these aren't just little tap-in funhouse putts, folks. This is truly a test of your short game. But the newest and most exciting addition to the Forest Dunes menu of fun is a 10-hole short course called the Bootlegger. You don't have to wear your shoes. You don't have to bring all your clubs, but you better bring your game with you. Let's head over to the Bootlegger. You know, golf doesn't get much more relaxed than it is on the Bootlegger. You got maybe 3 clubs, got your tennis shoes on, or maybe your flip-flops, a little beverage in hand, and I'm joined by one of the co-owners here at Forest Dunes, Tom Sonderborg. What a setting this is, and welcome aboard to Forest Dunes.
Thank you very much. This is it's a dream come true for us.
What was it like when you first arrived on this property?
Well, the first time was probably 3 years ago. We came up and just started to get to know Lou Thompson, the previous owner, and he befriended us, and we struck up a friendship, and that turned eventually into a business deal. So it was, you know, it had a great start, a great set of bones, and what got me particularly excited, because I'm a real estate developer, is the additional property here,
Yeah.
and the, you know, to have such a great start and then have all this potential for the future is really exciting.
We have spent some time earlier in the show looking at Forest Dunes and at the Loop. Now here we are on this beautiful 10-hole walking course.
Yeah.
How would you describe the Bootlegger experience?
With no exaggeration at all, this is the most fun I've ever had playing golf. It is just all about fun. And I've been fortunate enough to play, you know, a lot of great golf courses in my time, and we've got 2 great courses here. But this is just fun. I mean, to go out with 8 or
We got
12
a
or
group of
16
12 out
guys,
here, right?
some, you know, half of them have their shoes off,
Yeah.
a couple of beverages, and just having fun. There's nothing like this, and the setting is just beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Takes
as
your
good
breath
as
away.
it gets. And
Yeah.
for me, this first time around, Bootlegger has me wanting to just keep going and making more and more
Yeah.
laps. It's that good, it's that fun, and it's incredible practice for your short game.
Absolutely.
We had a
Yeah.
hole earlier that was 48 yards, and I did not birdie it.
No, it's a tough shot. Yeah, but this is great.
If you were to describe kind of your vision for this place, let's say 5 years from now, what's it look like?
Well, I can tell you that the conversation we want to be in is with the best golf destinations in the country. You know, we want to be in that conversation with Stream Song and Bandon and Sand Valley and Pebble, and I think we'll get there. And, you know, maybe it'll take 5 years, maybe less. But that's our aspiration. I mean, it's really good now. It's a great start. But we want to take it up a notch. And with a 3rd golf course, or the assets we have now, plus implementing our vision for the future, I think we got a really good chance here.
Before we leave Forest Dunes, we've got to say hello to my friend Don Helinski, because I'm going to let you drive home the importance of advanced planning and the opportunities of coming here to stay and play. Let's start with this. What is the Forest Dunes experience all about?
It's all about enjoying great golf courses with the company you're with, whether that's your spouse or your father and your brothers or your buddies from college, whoever it happens to be in your buddy group that you're here playing with. It's a chance to escape and leave your worries behind and really enjoy the company of those who are with you.
Well, we talked earlier about the different lodging options, these stay and play opportunities, a little bit of everything depending on the size of your group. What's the ideal package here?
The ideal package is you know, playing the loop both ways, Forest Dunes at least once, and then getting around in at the Bootlegger, and then as many nights as you care to stay with us. You know, we're golf centric. There's golf here, and that's it. There's no spa, there's no pool, there's no nightlife. You're coming here for the golf experience and the camaraderie of the people you're with.
There's a lot of memory making that goes on here because of that time you spend together.
Absolutely, and you know, we spend a lot of time together out on the course. Golf is a game that takes a little bit of time, but there's also the times around the fire pits and hanging out, waiting in between shots, and that you're able to really spend some quality time with one another, and that's what it's really all about.
Well, there are an awful lot of people watching right now who are thinking, all right, it's time for us to get there. What's the best way to book your trip?
The best way to book your trip is to give our staff a call. Because of the complexity of some of the reservations and different lodging, your group may be split up between different types of accommodations. You tell us your needs, and we'll find what's going to match best with your necessities.
There is not much left to say except get yourself to Forest Dunes. What a marvelous place it is, and on behalf of the entire Forest Dunes family, we extend the invitation for you to set your sights on Roscommon, Michigan, and make some memories at this very special place. My Bootlegger competitors, thank you so much for the match and for not telling anybody how it turned out.